feels impossible to do anything, I guess. I really don't want to get on any more medication because right now my memory is so bad and I don't want any more of that. So I don't know what to do.
Hey there, my name is Sean, and this is Suicide Noted. On this podcast, I talk with suicide attempt survivors so that we can hear their stories. Every year around the world, millions of people try to take their own lives, and we almost never talk about it. We certainly don't talk about it enough, and when we do talk about it, many of us, including me, are not very good at it. So one of my goals with this podcast is to have more conversations, and hopefully better conversations, with survivors. Now, if you are a suicide attempt survivor and you'd like to talk, please reach out. hello@suicidenoted.com, on Facebook or Twitter @suicidenoted. Check the show notes for other ways you can participate, get involved, volunteer, learn more, all that good stuff, including our membership. We would love your financial support. We could certainly use it. So have a look at that if you'd like. And do keep in mind, we are talking about suicide on this podcast like we do every week, just as the title suggests. We know it's not a good fit for everybody, so take that into account before you listen or as you listen. But I do hope you listen, because there is so much to learn. Today I am talking with James. James lives in Texas, and he is a suicide attempt survivor. I'm talking with James, who was in a car in Denton, Texas.
Yes.
Gave me permission to say the city, right?
Yes.
It's home of the University of North Texas. Several famous people have gone there. James, who's gone there?
Mean Joe Green.
Mean Joe Green.
Nora Jones came here, but then she dropped out and became famous.
I had a bit of a crush on Nora Jones.
You know what? I did too.
James is in a field somewhere. So he's safe. We're just talking about things. No one's doing anything.
Exactly. We're just speaking.
James is, I'll let James speak for himself, but you should know, we were talking for about 10 minutes and then Sean, that's me, didn't hit the record button. So I'm just going back and summarizing, married guy, but didn't let his wife know.
And that's just because she has like OCD and separation anxiety. She's medicated for it. When I talk about this stuff, she just gets very overbearing and scared because she thinks she's going to lose me. You know, I guess that's the role of a husband is to, pick everyone out, and a father. And so I got to fake it a lot of the times. So once they see me shutting down, they start to shut down. And, I guess I'm basically The Rock.
You look a little bit like The Rock.
I'm the Dwayne Johnson of the family, but...
The Dwayne Johnson of Denton, Texas, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting, and this is very common, I think. I don't want to talk about it because I'm going to freak out. I'm afraid I'm going to lose you. But in not creating the space to talk about it, you're actually maybe increasing the chances.
Oh, yeah, man. And that's why it's gotten so tough now, because we're going through a lot. They need to be lifted up as much as they can. And if I have, they call it fits, right?
Fits. James has fits.
Yeah, like tantrums or fit. If I have that, and then they're just like, you just want to check out of here, don't you? You don't want to be around. You don't want to put the work in. So it's really, I tend to just not talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's what happens, right? Because there's a point in which you just stop. You get the messages.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, I'm just not going to do that. And that, I think, is, I'm not trying to be like alarmist here because you know it as well as anybody, but I think that's a little bit of a dangerous space when we stop talking.
Oh, full-heartedly agree with that, because the days I'm not able to like release it, and those are the darkest days. And then that's where I become close again to always think of it as like a dirty secret. Because even like listening to your podcast and stuff, I have to keep that in secret. Or just talking, like looking at stuff online or messaging people. It's just like, and then she's like, well, what are you doing on your phone? And then I have to like make up a lie on the spot. She can tell I'm lying. So it's like, oh, you're talking to someone else. It's a messy thing, but I'm grateful for your podcast.
So when she says somebody else, she's not talking about another woman. She's talking about something related to suicide?
No, she thinks it's another woman. Yeah. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? So I guess I keep that secret. There's other things I like to just keep secret as well. Like I was a part of this group where you post pictures of what you get after work to eat on your drive home. So I like took a picture of the food, and she's like found the receipt, and she's like, you went out to eat with someone. And I was like, no, I did not. Look, I ate all that. And she's like, no, you bought 2 burgers. You bought this. And I was like, yes, but in that using that logic, I only bought one milkshake. And then my wife was like, well, she might have been lactose intolerant. I don't know.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then I had to show her this like dirty group where it's just dudes who like buy food, mass amount of food, and post it online and like talk about it. And I'll just say, is this name of the group is Eating Like a Big Fella. So then she's like, so you're supposed to be coming home from work, but you're buying food, and then you're posting it to these dudes, and then you're coming home and saying you haven't eaten, that haven't. It's just I don't know.
When you say eating like a big fella, I think that is so Texas.
Oh, God. Yeah. And yes, it's a very big Texas.
That is so Texas. Eating like a big fella. Eating like a big fella. Post your photos. When did you, we're going to get to the suicide stuff, but it's all related. When did you first start listening, if you remember, to the podcast? How long ago was that?
It was about maybe over a year ago.
How long did you listen to it before you reached out?
Well, this is going to sound silly. Not to offend you, I was actually looking for this band called Suicide Note.
That's awesome.
And I believe they were from Chicago or something. I don't know. But then yours came up, and I was like, oh, what's this? And I listened to it. You spoke to someone named David. All he said is, I'm a very simple man, Sean. I'm very simple. I'm easily amused. I'm like easily excited. And if someone says something that I like, I immediately have to be their friend.
You're in a fucking group where you post what you eat. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So all David said was New Jersey straight edge, being into like that type of music and genres that are near that music. Dude, I flipped out.
Okay.
So I actually reached out to you so that I could get his email.
Did I give you his email? Did I?
You did. You actually tagged him in the email, and he said it was okay. And you know what? We emailed for a long time, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the only reason I stopped is because he was so like eloquent. Is that the word? He's very intelligent, and he'd write these beautiful emails, and then I would just sit there for like days in my notes on my phone because I felt like he was giving me so much, and then like I feel like wasn't intelligent enough to reply that would match his. But man, he's a great dude.
He might hear this. He might not. He might not listen. I don't know.
David, I'm sorry, bro. I need to get back to you, man. I'm sorry. It's me. It's not
if
you.
He's listening, it's James and your old buddy up in Texas.
Yeah.
Why do you make the jump from listening? You found it accidentally, and then you reached out to talk to David, and then you wanted to talk to me?
Well, it's just that I listen to people's stories. I think it's a really great thing because if you looked at like any podcast right now and you were about this topic, it's all just going to be like trying to lift you up and stuff. But then I like that. And then also I just feel like I have to talk about it because I'm not going through a hard time, man. I mean, I used to use the hotline, but then it's just like, oh, it's going to get better. I don't want that to blow smoke and all that. I don't know.
Your wife doesn't know. You have children. They don't know. Does anybody know that we're talking right now?
No.
Okay. How old were you when you first started thinking, if you can recall this, about ending your life?
I was in 9th grade, so 14.
Man, that's a common age. What was going on?
Oh, man, I grew up in a really small town. Like the population when I left the town was 300.
Wow.
I was into like hip hop and skateboarding and hardcore and all that, just stuff that they didn't understand. So I was just bullied my whole life. And then it just got to the point in 9th grade where I just couldn't take it anymore. And there was a certain incident that happened, and I just went home, man. And I tried it, man.
Tried it how?
And, well, I hugged myself. Am I allowed to?
You can do whatever you want. I can always cut it out.
I tried it in the closet, and the bar broke. And I woke up to my mother hitting me with a broom.
With a broom?
Yeah, she was sweeping in the hallway, and I had closed my bedroom door, and I guess she heard the crash.
She knew what happened? She knew what you did?
She didn't know, but then, I think she put it together.
Yeah.
And she was really upset. She's a old Filipino Catholic lady, so she did not.
Whoa, wait, hang on. An old Filipino. So you're half Filipino or full Filipino?
I'm half Filipino.
What's the other half?
The other half is my very white dad. Who loves like ZZ Top, and he's been to prison a few times.
Are they still together?
They are still like legally together, but they haven't been together for a while. So what had happened is my mom came over here with her family or whatever, and my aunt, she was getting a pool built, and my dad builds pools, and I guess she saw him with shirtless or something, and they just started there. There you go.
Just to be clear, the young Filipino Catholic woman comes to the United States.
Yes.
Comes to Texas, winds up in Texas. She's trying to make a new life for herself.
Well, what had happened is she came to New York City first.
Now you're speaking my language, man.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is going to sound so stupid. She saw Barry Manilow on the street. And she was like, I guess walked up to him like bawling, like, oh, Barry, Barry. So he was smoking a cigarette and he just looked at her, flicked it. And I guess that scarred that she wanted to move with their older brother in Los Angeles. So they moved to Los Angeles, but the time they moved, like a week later, the race riots happened, right? They were like, we got to get somewhere else. So they went to Denison, Texas.
So they basically went from one coast to the other coast to like central.
There's nothing in Denison.
Your ZZ Top loving shirtless father was doing pool work and caught the attention, one of them at least.
And my mom, I think that was my dad was the second dude she has ever dated in her life.
She was liking the bad boys, which is
yeah. Funny enough, their first date was ZZ Top, but he like brought his friends too. So they're all like passing joints around and getting drunk. And she's just like, oh no. And she's always like, oh, I thought it was so disgusting. And I was like, well, you ended up marrying him. So what? Yeah. I didn't think it was that bad. But yeah, she was very upset about that. Sorry, I got off topic so much.
All good. So we're talking about the attempt in the closet when you were in 9th grade.
And she said that, how shameful it was. And then the next day I had to do like therapy for half the day. Like I guess she got in touch with someone. I remember they put me on that. I don't know what the medication, the commercial and the pamphlet had the rocks that are sad and they get happy.
That's a really accurate promotional material. Okay.
I don't know if she like reached out to someone, but dude, like everyone knew, man.
Okay. Small town, bro.
And they would like use it against me and stuff. So it was pretty bad, but
they would use the fact that you attempted against you?
Yeah, dude. They like make fun, used it while they were bullying me and stuff. But I just like embraced it.
Did you stay on the meds or just was brief?
What had happened is they also gave me something for ADHD. It made me so aggressive. So then that's when I started fighting more, getting more in trouble. And there was a time from like where I almost didn't graduate because I had spent so much time in ISS, which is in school suspension. Yeah, and the other guys wouldn't get in trouble because they're all like, well, he's the crazy one. So he also instigated it. But
Jen, to win these fights or lose them?
A lot of times it'd be multiple people. But then I'd get like, oh man, and this has affected how I am today because I'm very like defensive and I feel like I have to get revenge. I'd like meet them one-on-one. I don't think that was a good thing, but I don't know. I was just like that because I go to therapy, right? And I remember this one guy, he would just keep telling me like, well, if you can't beat them, you got to join them, right? He just wanted me to like become friends with these guys. And I was just like, no, that's not happening, man. I'm not about that.
Just to back up for a second, the person that your mother sent you to that day or that week, was he a priest type person?
So he was a psychiatrist, but dude, man, he was basically a priest. He was telling me, it was like, dude, it's the music you listen to. It's your aggression. You shouldn't be like this. You need to be going to church. You need to be doing all these things.
Ooh, I wonder what school he went to get his degree.
And the thing is, because I had multiple, because I just straight up tell my mom, like, look, I don't want to go back there. He doesn't. I will credit my mom this. She was very supportive. Like, she was open-minded. Like any mother would see the music and stuff and just, like, ban it. But she was like, well, that's his outlet. I'm going to continue to let him use that or listen to this. And then especially when I talked to him, if she could tell that I didn't like the person, she would be like, well, let's find another guy. And my father was the same way, so I appreciate that. So we were just, I think just in the area of that North Texas area like that, there was just no one that was, because they were all like that. Yeah. You'd walk in and you see like the giant crosses and stuff. And
oh man, did you have another attempt at some point?
No, but I was able to get out of the, I guess, mindset because I really got involved with like music and like skateboarding, all of that. And it really came back. It was my second year teaching, and I was teaching in a high school, and I got a concussion. It was a bad one. My primary, he suspected I have CTE, and what the traits of those are like a bipolar and schizophrenia. What really unmotivated me about getting it fixed was he said the only way to like truly diagnose is if you have to like die and like open your brain. Also, I should say this, like bipolar and schizophrenia, it runs in my family. My sister has it, my younger sister. And there was a period before I started teaching where she went manic and she did a lot of wild things. And so that's when the ideation really started coming heavy. And in that time I was on leave at work. It was like 2 weeks. A student of mine committed.
Oh, what was what were you teaching?
I was, art, but I was also photography, and she was in my photography class, and I could just tell. And I'd reach out to, like the counselors. And I'm not putting blame on anybody. You can never tell what's going to happen. So it's no one's fault. I don't want to make anybody feel like that. But I'd bring it up, and it was always just that's how girls are.
Oh wow.
But I could just tell because how obsessed she was with like death and just talking about it. And she would always, when she'd come into my class, she'd turn on the computer, her background was that picture of that starving child and that vulture's looking at him? It was just stuff like that, and then she found out that in that school district, Richardson, there's this Pearl Jam song that was written about a student who went to Richardson High School and did that. And then that was in our district. I just felt so guilty because I was like, because I was always talking to her. I was like, well, maybe if I didn't get a concussion, I would have been able to. And then I started having like the ideation and like, I guess, nightmares and stuff like that. But
how old were you when this was happening?
This was 2018. I was 30.
The ideations kicked up, and then you lost a student, and you were home.
Yeah.
So you try again, second time?
No, I don't try again until a couple of years later.
That sounds like it was a hard, super, super hard period of time.
Because of the CTE, I was also having like schizophrenia traits and all that. I was prescribed, I think at one point, 13 different medications. And the only one I remember is lithium, just because the Nirvana song. Like, I couldn't keep up with it. I don't have the attention span to remember, because a lot of it was like, take this and then take it again at this time of day. And like, I'm walking around with this pill case that like you see like elderly have that have the times like AM, PM, AM, PM. And then I went to go pick it up once because my wife couldn't do it. And then he's just saying all like the actual names of the medications. And all I remember is like, Wellbutrin and lithium. And I just got so fed up. But time would go and I would come to it and it'd be like Wednesday. And all I remember is Sunday. That makes sense. So it was like huge memory loss. So even recalling it back, like it's hard to remember those years while I was on all that medication. And that really scared me. And then one day I was like, I can't live like that, because I'd also just start nodding off like in class. I'd fall asleep and like students would wake me up. Even like while driving, I fell asleep while driving sometimes. I think a lot of it was all that medication.
I'm sure it was. And then you tried in 2021, 2020, COVID? It
was after COVID. I tried the same thing, but with a ratchet strap.
Did you want it to work?
Oh, I wanted it to work, man. The reason I got through and didn't try it again until later, because my wife, she knew about the second time I tried, and she wasn't happy about it. And then she thought like, well, you're going to leave us and the kids. That's so selfish. But when you're like alone, and you're just like that, it's easy to just be like sad and get through it. But when you have like kids and like they like really depend on you to be like the fun dad at the park and all that. And then also, and then the finances, that's what's also been really hard, because, my check was really messed up from COVID. So I only get paid once a month. So like they messed up the check. So I didn't have a month of any pay. So then when you do that, have to do the cash advance loans, because you can't pull from your TRS or whatever, your retirement, because you're under 59. And it's like, it's not considered a hardship because you're not yet evicted. Like, you're not on the street yet. I'm like, dude, I'm about to be if I don't get any money. So a lot of it came like that, because then I remember talking to someone at TRS, which is like a teacher retirement thing. And I was just like, look, I mean, I'm telling you all this stuff. I'm going through a hard time. And it was like, well, the only way to get it is if you, after 59 or you die. And so that gave me the idea right there.
For your family.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, if I die, they'll get like, the 40 whatever that's in my retirement. And it was a hard decision because the payout wouldn't happen for 90 days after. Like, so like the day I died or whatever, and they filed the paperwork, and they'd still have to wait 90 days.
Was that attempt 2 or attempt 3 we were just talking about?
No, I've only attempted twice.
Okay. So that second attempt, the main reason was that.
Yeah. And that's what's been like, it's just always looming on me now because of that same thing,
Do you think about it often for the same reasons?
Oh, yeah. And, now there was so much like family drama going on, it's every day now.
Every day?
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids. I have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old. The 7-year-old is my daughter, and the 9-year-old is my son.
Did you do what your mother did and marry a super white person? Your words, not mine.
Yeah, I did. No, she's from Buffalo. Yeah, she came from a wealthy upbringing, and so that makes it harder,
Yeah. Did you meet online?
We met in class at UNT. Was figure skateboarding, and the professor yelled at me about it. And then she thought that was cute. So that's what made her start talking to me.
Nice tactical move there. You worked. You got 2 kids.
Yep. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah. But boy, is she like, dang it, what did I get into?
I don't think I've ever asked this question. If you live, do you think you'll stay married to her?
Yeah, you know what, man, I love her to pieces, but I feel like a lot of the problems we have, it's probably me. I know how I am, especially with my mental state. I'm probably very hard to live with because I'm very defensive. Also, I tend to make jokes of everything at the wrong time. I don't take things seriously. The thing is, I do. It's just my coping mechanism is to make it into a joke.
I think I do that a lot too. So, it's hard when we're funny people.
Yeah.
Come on. Sorry if you're not funny. I'm funny. Whoever you are out there hearing this, I was given a gift, so I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in the hospital for any of this stuff?
Oh man, I have, and it was awful. This was before COVID. She went with me. All I can remember is like you do the test, right? The survey I always do, and the next thing I know, there's an officer.
That's what you get for being honest.
Yeah, and the thing is, my memory, like I'll be honest, Sean, I have such a bad memory these days, even up till now. And I remember the officer, I don't know what I said, but I know my wife was with me. My wife's crying now. I have this officer, and he's like, I'm like, who the fuck's that guy? And he's like, oh, it's just to be safe where we take you down. I'm like, take me down where? I'm getting like fucking hostile, right?
And then that's all the more reason
that
why
makes it worse. It makes it look
much worse,
right?
But they've like kind of antagonized, instigated.
And I'm like, don't put your hands on me because the dude wanted like, I was like, no, dude. He's like, chill out. He's like trying to touch me. I'm like, dude, back the fuck off, man. Yeah. So now I look like a crazy guy. So I go down there, and then this like Doogie Howser looking doctor dude like sits on my bed, and he's like, look, I know you have wife and kids and you love them, but if you really love them, just try it out.
Try what out?
And my wife, like, try to be admitted into the thing, whatever this was. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll try. And then my wife is crying, and I go in, and man, it was just an awful experience in there. They told me afterwards that I might have been put in the wrong one, but it was like people like very aggressive. And this guy tried to fight me because I had pre-put that I wanted a burger, like from the other hospital or something. So I got to have this burger in like a to-go box. But I also got lasagna, and he's trying to fight me now. And it was just so much aggression, and I'm already like freaked out. I'm just like, can I talk to someone? And that makes it worse. And then what's that thing that everyone says? I don't need to be in here. And so someone pulled me aside, and she was just like, look, you have to just go with the program. Because if you just make a fuss and you keep arguing, they're just going to, think you need it more.
Such a bizarre, yeah. Oh, jeez. So how long were you in there for?
I was in there for 3 days only.
Feels like a long fucking 3 days.
Yeah, and like the first day, and then they're like, I was waiting for some certain doctor.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's the one who gets you. And you wait for this guy for like 24 hours or something. I'm waiting, I haven't slept. He comes in there and he talks to me for like 20 seconds. And he asks me like nothing. It was really frustrating. My wife, since she has that separation anxiety, she like pulled some strings to get me out early because I guess her mom used to date a guy that like had something, and he like called up there and got me out. But it was just, man, that didn't help at all, man. And that's where I've become like, I don't want to talk about it to anybody because I don't want that shit to happen again, man. That was awful, dude.
Mom, does she know about the second attempt?
No, she doesn't. Like, she really, like, if my wife talks about it, like, in my, like, mental health, she gets really upset. My mom does.
Your mom does?
And she's like, you can't miss work. Like, how are you going to do? You can't miss work? You have kids?
Are you imitating your mother's accent a little bit right now?
No, you know what? I do an imitation. I'm not going to do it, though, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Is she still in Texas?
She is.
Where's your dad?
He is in Texas as well.
Got a big beard?
He looks like Burt Reynolds. I'm kind of upset because he's like 6'5", Burt Reynolds. Odd stuff, I guess. And my mom's like 4'9", though. So I didn't get any height, dude.
You're the big guy, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm a big guy, but not tall. I'm more horizontal.
I understand clearly your drift. So how many people do you have in your life to talk about this? Is it zero?
Yeah. My friends, I love my friends, man. But a lot of times when I talk about it, I feel like I'm kind of taking away. Like, here's like Sad James again. And then like, I feel bad because I'm like, well, how are you doing? And obviously they're not going to tell me the truth because they just listen to me. So now I don't tell anybody about it.
Did you already tell me at some point, did you get a diagnosis that you think is correct?
When I went to my primary for the CTE thing after that concussion, he did diagnose me. I think it was bipolar.
Mm-hmm.
But he had assumed I was also before that schizophrenic and all this stuff from the CTE. And what's scaring me is like I'll do like research on CTE and I'll look at like the symptoms, and I know you're not supposed to do that, but I do think there is maybe a little, because I do hear things.
You hear things?
Sometimes it's voices, and a lot of the times it's how I interpret what people say. Like like my principal, for example, if she says something about this, I'll interpret that she just thinks I'm bad at my job and hate it. And then I'll even remember things in conversation that someone says, but they actually didn't say it. But when I heard it, I thought they said it, or I think they did say it. And I think a lot of it is, I don't know if stress can do it, but it's really stressful what we're going through right now. And I can see it coming out. And like, I'll just give you an example. I'm really afraid to sound crazy, which I don't. I know this is not the place to feel afraid, right?
I hope not. No.
I had thought my wife and my sister were walkie-talking each other, and I thought they like walkie-talkied my principal because I was hearing like a walkie-talkie sound. So when I got this email from work, I tagged everyone in it and just let them have it, man. I guess it's good that when after it happens and I've had like a sleep, I can go back and look at it and be like, that was crazy, man. When it's happening, and in the email I type it, I'd say that they all have the same face. So often when I talk to someone and I'm feeling this way, the face that I can describe it as is like a bank teller hitting like the panic button. Does that make sense? It's kind of like a face, or like it's like a wide-eyed. And so I'm going off about that, and I don't know. That's not healthy, I don't think. And I know it's confusing to hear. So sorry.
I think it's interesting to hear is the better word for me.
So it's like this. So I'm rambling about these faces and stuff. And of course, if you read it back, I'm like, dude, this guy's psycho, right? Like I tagged my boss, my wife, and my sister, and then some random HR lady from work. And I'm just like listing off things and stuff. But then the next day, the HR was like, we can give you admin leave until your contract's up if you promise not to renew your contract.
Oh, they forced you out. Did you say yes?
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking when you said earlier, like crazy, I thought, what crazy or not, there's going to be some consequences to doing what you did.
Yeah.
You know, and there was, which is not saying it's fair. I just know that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah. And, you know, I can think back and reflect on my life. And, you know, even before that last concussion, there's been moments where I've done stuff like that, just acted out like that.
Yeah.
And it has affected my life.
Does anybody find out other than your wife about attempt 2?
No. I think she might have told, this is another problem. She might have told family, and then they get on to me. And it's a bad situation.
Did you wish that the attempt had worked a few years ago?
The only reason it didn't is because I ratcheted it the wrong way, because I was upset while I was doing it. I didn't do it right. And, you know, I've done it right every other time, but this time, I guess, I don't know if that was like a subconscious thing. I was just doing it while upset, but it didn't work. And, you know, that really hurt me that she went, because the way she told the family was like during an argument. And so it was like used against me. And I really, you know, that still hurts today to know that she would do that. But I understand. I mean, what else do you do? I don't want to blame anybody here.
But do you wish it had worked?
You know what? Part of me does, because I'm like, my biggest thing is I feel like such a burden, you know, like what we've been through and all that. If someone was like stronger, like a better father, husband, they wouldn't be in this situation. I feel like, you know, even at work, I was like, I'm a bad teacher because of stuff, I bring stuff from home into work and it's affecting me. I don't know. Yeah, I wish it would have, especially because I just feel like I make it worse and worse and worse. And if it wasn't 90 days before they get paid, you know, it was like a week. Who knows?
Yeah. I wonder if that's one of the reasons why it's 90 days. Probably
you know what? I couldn't get any more info from him because he started doing that verifying, like, do you live at this address? And I knew that he was trying to contact the cops.
Oh, Jesus. Does anything help you feel better?
Oh, music, man. Me and a couple friends, we've been trying to release something. Yeah, working on that makes me, I think a lot of it is like I need to be occupied, like I need an outlet, and but it's just like, you know, at this day and age, it's or at my age and my responsibilities, you can't do that all day. You know, I even made my conversation with the guy into like a song and stuff. So that was really, I guess, therapeutic.
What kind of music?
It's like low IQ music, buddy. Just like 80s style, like hardcore, but there's not much there, but it feels good to yell and write these nasty things down and say them. Because even that, because my wife knows, she's known since the beginning, like, I like what I like. But if she can understand what I'm saying, then she gets scared. Oh, why are you singing about that?
You think you're gonna make it to 40?
I don't know. It just feels like every step's the wrong step. So I don't, especially lately. I'll tell you this dream I always have. I've had it for a while because I always have like this tension in my head. And in this dream, I'm not going to tell you what I do, but I do it, and all the like air comes out of my head, and it releases the tension.
Oh,
It's like morphine running through your body. Feel it like going through you. That's the feeling I get. So like now, like if it's a stressful time, I just start like fantasizing, and it's been that like that for a few years, and it's getting really twisted because like I'd be in like class in like elementary school, like kindergarten, because I teach art, so let's see all the grades. I'm happy and stuff.
it makes me think if I had any like elementary school teachers who were thinking that way back in the day.
Yeah.
While they were in the class teaching us whatever.
Yeah, and it's so dark to think like that, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, look how happy they are, and like they're just so happy, and then here I am, I use work as kind of therapy because just like joking around with the kids all day, like just making kids laugh. That's really helpful to me.
But you're going to lose your job, right? You lost your job.
Yeah, so I can't get able to do that now.
I wonder what the suicide state is in the Philippines, even though she hasn't been there in a long time. I know that, but.
Well, I used to go, and everyone's very, it's a hard place to live. I remember her explaining it like my grandma worked endlessly. She has like 7 brothers and sisters. She worked so hard just so they could come to the States. And she was like, you doing that would just be a waste because I was supposed to come to the States and have a kid that are also successful.
Yeah, no pressure there, buddy. Are there any myths around this stuff that you want to...
Yeah, a lot of people just think that it's I don't know, like a mood or something, but like in my case, I can't help it. It's more than like, it's always on my mind, especially recently. And the whole thing, like also that, oh, we need to like pep them up and help them. Sometimes doing that just makes me feel worse. So that makes me feel more different and more ashamed. Sometimes when you think you're helping, you're also making it worse. And it is kind of scary thinking like, oh, there's no answer. But, I do know that talking about it helps, but without judgment.
That seems hard for people.
Because the moment I mentioned it, it's like, well, you're a dad. What are you thinking like that?
What he asked there is not a question. It's a statement disguised as a question. What he said was, you shouldn't be thinking that way. What would be a more interesting question was to actually ask the question.
I really fucking hate when they're like, oh, it's going to get better, buddy. And it has not.
At what point of it not getting better is it reasonable for people to say, I don't think you're right. Don't think it's going to get better. It's unlikely, right? It's a reasonable thing to think about if it's been going on for a long time.
It feels impossible to do anything, I guess. I really don't want to get on any more medication because right now my memory is so bad and I don't want any more of that. So I don't know what to do.
That CTE thing, that's interesting. That hasn't come up much in this podcast.
This last one was really bad and it had like brain swelling. The main reason I didn't like his CTE thing is this was around like, remember Aaron Hernandez?
Oh, yeah.
First off, I hate the Patriots. And I was like, what? Like Aaron, I'm not one because I'm like, what am I going to do? Like kill someone? And it's a scary thing. And then I found out like 90% of the NFL players might have. That's the thing. They might have it. You can't tell till you cut your brain open. So I'm like, what the hell? What's the point of even doing anything about it? And I'm sure if my situations were better, it'd be easier to do. But a lot of times it's not an out. I just feel like I'm a burden,
But does that ever go away, that feeling?
Very brief. And that's the sad thing is it's very brief. It's like just because I feel like I'm the reason for it and it's no one's fault, then I think everyone would be better without me.
Yeah. I wonder what percentage of people who attempt feel that way. I think it's probably pretty high. You ever lose anyone to suicide?
Besides the student, I remember my dad's friend, Jim, he did it on Christmas. And I remember my mom, I didn't hear the phone, what he said on the phone, but I remember my mom asking him why he did it. And my dad's response was, he just did it.
Man. What'd you tell your wife that you were doing tonight?
Job interview.
You're going to come home and she's going to say, how was the interview?
And then I was like, it was great. We talked a long time.
What other stuff is on your mind about any of this?
I feel when I talk about it also, I feel really like pathetic. I don't think I should feel that way, I can't help it. And I feel like that's also people think, oh, well, they're pathetic. They can't keep going. And I don't think that's right either. Because if I could choose not to think this way, I obviously would, but I can't help it. And it's really getting to me because like that whole walkie-talkie thing, I was explaining to that while my sister was on FaceTime and my wife was in the room. And just the look on their faces like, what are you talking about? This is so crazy. And then they both start crying.
Do you think your kids have any idea that you're struggling?
I used to be so good at hiding it. Like I never talk about, like I'll never say anything to them. But a few weeks ago, I noticed that my daughter she would like wake me up. And I'm usually the first one to wake up. She'd just open the door and like check on me, and that'd wake me up, and then I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And then she'd just shut the door. And then I finally asked, like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm just checking to see if you're still here, because I feel like you won't be here. And then that just makes me feel like, oh my God, like I'm just awful dad, awful husband. And growing up with my dad, he was always in trouble with the law. Sometimes he'd be locked up. And then there was one where he was evading warrants, and he was like in your part of town. Well, not Chapel Hill, but Raleigh.
Okay.
But throughout all that, I still knew that I could depend on him, whether it was like through a letter, a phone call. It was still like uplift me. And then I feel bad because here I am, I'm in person, and I'm not doing that for them, I think that just proves the case that like I am the problem. Like I'd be at work, kids would always say like, oh, I wish you were my dad. And what would make me sad though is like, look, I'm not even doing anything but like just my normal classroom, like respect and all that's in any classroom. And you only see me for 50 minutes a day, one day of the week. And then you think that, but then why can't I even have my kids when they come home think that? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just like, feels like I'm a fraud. And then I got into this thing where I was like really into like reincarnation. And I thought that, well, if I do it, maybe I'll come back as someone better.
Maybe you'll come back as me, James.
I can only hope.
I don't know if you want to come back as me. I'm just saying, it would be interesting. So so you're going to go home?
Yes.
You see your wife, your two kids. You're going to be sleeping?
I think they walked by and they're at the park.
Is she going to catch you not being in an interview?
No, because I said it was a Zoom interview.
Is this park near your house?
It's 100 yards probably. But I cannot let my wife know it was a podcast, though.
Is there any way she's going to hear it when it comes out?
Oh, no, but okay, this is another, I'm just rambling, but I had a secret podcast that I made for friends, and then a friend brought it up at dinner, and I guess everyone at the table but her had heard the podcast.
What was it about?
It's basically just telling like stories, but I'm using like my dad's voice. This was like 2015. I thought that, but other people started listening to it outside of my friends, if that makes sense. And then I started getting emails, and then I felt bad. I stopped doing it because they were like sincere emails. And then my wife found out at dinner because my friend brought it up. And then I guess I'm a bad communicator too, Sean. I don't know, man.
I don't know. It sounds like both of you have some work to do. I'm really being honest, but so do I.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm single, man. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
My friend, I got to go. I've enjoyed talking to you. Sorry, I got to cut it off.
All right, man. I really appreciate you, Sean.
Yeah, man. I hope your night's decent.
All right. I'm going to go shoot some 3-pointers with my kid.
Gotcha, man. Have fun.
All right. Take it easy.
Take it easy. As always, thanks so much for listening and all of your support. Special thanks to James down in Texas. Thank you, James. If you are a suicide attempt survivor and you'd like to talk, please reach out. hello@suicidenoted.com, on Facebook or Twitter @suicidenoted. Check the show notes for all kinds of other ways you can get involved and participate, including our membership, which comes with some nice little perks, and we could use that kind of support. Rate and review us if you listen on Apple. That does help more people find the podcast. And of course, that's one of our goals. Remember, to help more people in more places feel a little less shitty and a little less alone, one conversation at a time. And that is all for episode number 166. Stay strong. Do the best you can. I'll talk to you soon.